Hi everybody, happy March. This month the video newsletter and paper newsletter, it's a little bit late due to the implementation of new softwares. We can say that today we are 100% onboarded and implemented on the RU, which is our new software management aid system, and also on Redvine. Once the process starts working properly, which it did much better this month, things will run smoothly and better for all of us. On Redvine, as a homeowner, you will be able to see your documents, but also you will see your statements. So sometimes if a few months down the road, you decided that you're missing a statement, as long as your statement says published, that is the final statement, and all of them every month will be on your portal as a landlord. For the tenants, they continue to pay online. They still have the same options, whether they pay cash with a money voucher, or they can pay with a credit card, or also directly from their bank. If they pay from their bank, it's free to the tenants because we pay for that cost for them. If they use a credit card, of course, it's up to what their credit cards will charge them, and that it's covered by the tenant. We continue to use house masters for our home inspections. Our home inspections prices have increased, but it's still the same that it's listed on your plan, whichever plan that you chose. And the reason is because House Masters is a professional home inspector. It's the same company that will do a home inspection when you purchase a house. It's the same inspection that we get for you at a fraction of a cost. They look at the house with different eyes, not just from the cosmetic side of it, but also from preventive maintenance and the way that a buyer would look at your house if you decide to sell in the future. So this is why it's important. Plus, they schedule with the tenant directly. Every month they are assigned 10 to 15 different properties, and they will schedule with the tenant at a convenient time for both of them, whether it's a weekend, afternoon, nighttime. So it's a lot more flexible for the tenant. HOAs. Let's talk about HOAs a little bit. A lot of the properties right now are being managed by First Service Residential. That is a big problem. So if your house is managed by First Service Residential, unfortunately, they want the landlord to email from their email address or call directly to add us to the system. We have landlords that have been our clients for 10 years, and now they're asking us to re-enroll with them, making it an inconvenience for the landlord and delaying us from being able to answer any violations that there may be. So if you receive a notice from your HOA, please forward it. On a lot of them, we are receiving them, but some of them, in the case of First Service Residential, we are not. And so we want to make sure that we take care of them. We will be re-enrolling in auto draft for the month of April. And as soon as they ask for the new documentations from the new software, and as properties start being enrolled, for the time being, we're just manually sending them checks. It is very important to talk about utilities. This is a big problem in Las Vegas right now. As of October of 2025, when the law changed, the problem is that we cannot bill the tenant for utilities if the tenant can put the utility in their name. So what does that mean? If it is a condo, and some condos, the HOA pays for the water, so the tenant cannot put it in their name. And in some houses, the previous tenant had a past due balance, and the new tenant cannot turn on the utilities because the utility company will not allow it. They will only allow it to stay in the landlord's name. Then it becomes a problem, because we have to see that invoice from the utility company and then turn around and bill it to the tenant and collect that money for you, and it has to stay in your name. So that's a big problem. And something that I'm very unhappy is that the landlord is expected to pay the previous tenant's balance. Now, keep in mind that we are not allowed to check on balances from the previous tenant. When a new tenant moves in, we ask them to turn the utilities in their name. We usually receive a letter from the utility company saying that the property has changed name. The utility now is in the tenant's name, but that is as far as it will go. So as a landlord, usually if the tenant is behind on the utility company will send you a letter. Please pay attention to that letter and let us know, because that's the only way that we can tell if a tenant is behind on their utilities, and try to start collecting it before they move out and you end up with a huge utility bill. So we need your help in this subject, and there's nothing that we can do to go around it at this moment. Something else to talk about is the rental market. So yes, the rental market is still 15 to 20% down compared to previous months and in the last 6 months. Again, we still have a lot of competition. It is a buyer's market right now, which means a lot of tenants, this is their opportunity to become homeowners. And it is unfortunate that some of the buyer's agents don't understand that the tenant has a legal binding contract by signing a lease, and the tenant will get into a contract to purchase a house and walk away from their leases. Yes, we can send them to collections, and yes, it will go on their credit, but they're now a homeowner. So that means that they probably don't need their credit for a while until they're ready to refinance or to sell their house. So that's a big problem. And also because now, again, the tenant can purchase a house. Being a buyer's market, the rates have dropped quite a bit. And also a lot of incentives. Homeowners are giving closing costs and paying for their buyer's agent's commission or buy downs on their interest rate. So sometimes the tenant ends up paying the same for a house now than they're paying on rent. So we have that competition to add as well. What does this mean to you? Is that we don't want to be overpriced, because unfortunately the longer the house sits on the market, it's being bypassed. So there is a lot of inventory, and on my newsletter I said this month we have 2,177 homes for rent on the market. We have 6,131 homes for sale that are currently listed, and the sales market, it's 9.4% down. So in my personal opinion, it's not a good time to sell. It is a buyer's market. If you place your home on the market for sale, you're looking at most likely a lower offer, and also being asked to give concessions, whether it's the agent's commission or closing costs, because we have competitions with the builders that are offering all of these things. On the tenant side, they have a lot of choices. A lot of tenants are negotiating on rents. Even if we stay firm, they want to negotiate and walk into a house and request things such as, I want the sink change, which it's a little bit unrealistic of a request when you're not purchasing the house. And all of our properties that are on the market are clean and are ready to go. So the best answer to the rental market is hang in there. It will get better. And make sure that your house is ready when we put it on the market. We always give you suggestions, and we always suggest what the market price should be. You as a landlord have the final word, but every week we are giving you an update, and the longer that you sit on the market, you're losing money. If you have a mortgage, then you're paying the mortgage 100% while it's vacant. So keep those things in mind when we suggest lowering the price as well. I also wanted to remind you as a landlord that our business hours at the office in the building, it is Monday through Friday till 5 o'clock. However, we do answer service calls, emergencies 24/7, and it's important that we keep the emergencies only after hours so they can be handled correctly and promptly. And there a lot of times if you call after hours to open a work order, it's being troubleshooting at the same time. So we try to avoid opening work orders that are unnecessary. If you have a home warranty, once again, this is the critical subject. Depending on the home warranty that you have, they may require payment up front, and actually most of them except two require payment up front. So at that time we will have to reach out to you unless you have a credit card on file and authorize us to open the work order for you. We're gonna have to reach out to you. Remember, we're going into the warmer time of the year. Next week, as a matter of fact, Vegas is supposed to be in the 90s, and we're going to be preparing for air conditioning time. I expect it to be a hot summer. So in the next few weeks, we will be looking for air conditioning companies that have good prices for air conditioning tune-up, and we'll mention it to you. If you're interested, then we will be able to get that done in April to be proactive for the summer. And lastly, let's talk about vendors. I talk about this every single month, and every single month I encounter this problem. I need your help. If you have a preferred vendor and they're licensed and insured, please let us know now when you don't need to use them, so that we have time to gather all this information and have it on file. Because when the work order is open, depending on what it is, if we have to stop and gather this information, it's going to cost you money. If we have a tenant and the air conditioner is down and we're waiting for your vendor to give us their license and insurance, which they're probably very busy, it might be a couple of days. And then at that point, we're going to be issuing rent credits. So let's be proactive. And if you have a preferred vendor, let us know now before it's needed. We cannot send people into a property that do not have insurance. We cannot send people into a property that do not have a business license. Why? Because if an accident happens, the person that is going to be covering those expenses, it's the landlord. So you do not want to do that. If the property is vacant, then no problem. There's no one in the property to get hurt. It is the law, but also we're trying to protect you. So hopefully you had a great March and look forward to April, and happy Easter.